Hi, it's the Hub Mama. In this tutorial, I want to teach you all about channels on the iHub app. So first, let me give you an overview. Right now, there are three types of existing channels: public, request, and private. There is the home channel, which is like a broadcast channel. And then hopefully by the end of 2023, there will be a fourth type of channel called a paid channel. So let's look at each type of these channels. First, public. So for the public channel, um, all content in it is seen by everybody, whether they're registered on the hub or not. They will see public channel content on their news feed. So why would anybody want to subscribe to a public channel? Well, if they want to receive a push notification when new content is published to that channel, they would want to subscribe. And if they want to receive that content from that channel in their daily or weekly newsletter. Now, the public channel, because it's completely public, does show up on the channel list on the front side of the hub, which I will show you after I cover the back side. The second type of channel is a request channel. Now, on a request channel, they really serve to booster the whole philosophy of the iHub app, and that is enabling users to totally customize their experience on the iHub app. So they show up on the channel list, and people can go in and they can browse those channels and choose which ones they want to subscribe to and request to join. The channel administrator or owner can either approve or, of course, decline a request to join. Once they are a member of that channel, they will see the posts in that request channel on their news feeds. They will receive push notifications when new content is added to that channel if they've enabled them. And they will also receive content from that channel in their newsletter. People who are not a member of a request channel will not see the content. They'll only see the channel on the channel list. They have to be a member of that channel to see the content. The third type of channel is a private channel. Now, the only way somebody would know a private channel exists is if they are told about it, either by a channel owner or administrator sending them a link, or by adding them manually to the channel. Private channels are used a lot for, like, say, departments at a company. So those team members in that department can have a private way to communicate with each other. Say the department head can send out posts just for his team members. So that private channel, nobody will see the content on their news feed or in the newsletter, and they will not get push notifications unless they are a member. The channel will not show up in the channel list on the front side of the hub. Now, content that's published in a request channel or a private channel can be broadcast to the public if, when you are creating the post, the home channel box is checked as well as the request or private channel box. So let's talk about that home channel broadcast channel. This is a way to send out content to everybody publicly from a request or a private channel. You might want to do this, say, if you were creating a post that served as like a teaser for people to join one of those request channels, or if you were having a promotion that was applicable to that channel, but you wanted everybody to see the content. When you're creating the post, by choosing the home channel as a box in the channel drop-down selection area, you are making that request post or private post public. When you check that home channel broadcast channel box, it will go into all registered users' newsletters and it will show up on everybody's newsfeed. So that's why I call it like a broadcast channel, because it's going to shoot out that content to everybody. It's also going to send a push notification. So you have to be really selective about what you put on that home broadcast channel for two reasons. One, you have to remember that you're making a request channel post or a private channel post public. That can be dangerous, especially in the case of a private channel. Two, you don't want to overuse that broadcast channel because it's undermining the way the hub is supposed to work. And that is by keeping content relevant to users. So if you're constantly pushing out content onto that broadcast channel, you're really undermining the philosophy and you're taking of the hub, and you're taking away people's choice of the content that they receive. It's okay to use sometimes in those cases of promotions or teasers. You just have to be selective and careful and conservative with how much you use it. Now, the fourth channel is this one that hopefully is going to be available at the end of 2023, and that is a paid channel. The way that will work is it will show up on the channel list and people can request to join. When they do, they will be told it's a paid channel and they will be sent to Stripe, which is integrated with the IHUBApp. Once they pay for that channel, they will automatically be added. So this is going to be an incredible way for people to monetize their IHUBApp. And yeah, it's an awesome way to add premium content to an IHUBApp and charge for it. So that's it for the overview and the details about each channel. Let's go over to the channel admin area and I will show you how that works. You're going to click on the channels and users category and then channels. And this is what shows up. This is my Hub Mama channel area. Now you will see here these gray bars. These are, this one is named, and so this means it is a category. So you can create categories that are basically like folders to organize your channels. I use these when I either have a hub with a lot of channels, so it just gets to be too much to look at them. It's better organized if you group them into similar categories, or if I have very specific people that I want to see a group of channels. In this case, I'm using that for my students because I don't have enough channels really to need categories for anything else. The uncategorized category is where they will show up if you don't assign them to a category. And I'll show you afterwards how these look on the front side. But again, you don't really want to use categories if you don't have that many channels because it puts an extra step in the process of seeing those channels. So let me take you to the Hub Mama News channel. Actually, I'll take you to the Hub Mama program. So here you will see the list of subscribers to that channel. I haven't started my program yet, so I'm the only one in there. And here you will see the channel role. When you have regular subscribers, there will be a drop-down menu here where you can choose the different role for each member if you want to. There are 5 different roles. There's channel member, which is the default role, and that just means they're a regular subscriber with no special privileges. The next one is a channel contributor. That allows somebody to add content, but it's moderated, so it needs to be approved before it will be published. Third is a channel publisher. That means they can add content and it gets published automatically without moderation. Fourth is a channel administrator, and that gives people the right to work back here in this area and change channel settings. And then fifth is that channel owner, and that is the person who created the channel. So let's go into settings, and you can see some of the things that you can customize on a channel. I'll show you how to create a channel. It's super easy. That information shows up here when you have created the channel, but you can come in and change it later. So here you can change your channel name, the URL, its type, and here again you have the private, request, and public. And if you've got that channel in a category or you want to add it later to a category, you can come here and add it. And then you are allowed to have a short description up to 400 characters as a description. And this shows up, I will show you later, it shows up on the channel page on the front side of the hub. And so it's a great way to like have a little teaser info to get people to sign up. In the channel roles section, you have the ability to customize those 5 different roles that I told you about. So it's awesome because if you wanted a channel member, say, to be able to create content, you can enable that here. You can, customize any of these to be what you want. You can also create your own customized channel role based on the privileges you want that person type, that role type to have. Next is feed customization. So, you know how like a contractor's house always needs work done on it. My hub doesn't have what I usually do for my clients, and that is customize their channels. One of these days I'll get to it. But here you can add content above the channel newsfeed, and I usually add a banner image. I'll show you what one looks like in a second. And you can also add content below that banner image. And I generally will add the channel description there so it's really visible when somebody clicks on the channel. I'm not going to get too much into overlay because there's a support article on it and a lot of people don't use it, but I'll just let you know that it is a way for a specific period of time. You can have a cover over a channel, and you can type the message that you want it to say, what this cover will say. And the people that tend to use this are like people who put on events, or if it's really good for a promo. If you had you could say, from this day to this day, come to this channel and you can win this, or you can get a discount code or something like that. So that's basically what an overlay is. So I want to show you how to create a channel. It literally could not be easier. You're going to click on this plus button. It's going to ask you whether you want to create a channel or a category. We're going to click on channel. Here is your channel name. Here is where you choose the type. And here is where you put in the description, and then you click on create. And once you click on create, of course, it will show up here, and it will be, you can click on it and do all those things that I just showed you. And so this is where you create a category, like I mentioned before, and then you can drag and drop these channels that are uncategorized into any new categories that you create if you want. Or the other way is, as I showed you before, you can go into the settings and add it to a category. So that's it for the back side. Let's look at the front side. So there's a couple different ways on my hubs that the channels show up. So this is the menu. I always add a subscribe option here. And so if you click on that, is one way that it will take you to the channel page. Before I go into detail here, you will also see this area, my channels, and it has your explore channels, which takes you to the same page, and it has your individual channels. When you get a lot of channels, it doesn't list them all. It will just like list the most popular ones. So those are two ways you can get to the channel page. The other way, on my hubs, I add buttons under the slider just to make another entryway into the channel area. As y'all know, people's brains work differently, people see things differently. So I always like to have multiple ways to find this channel area because it's so important. So I have a subscribe now button, and that takes you to this channel area. So here you can see what the categories look like, those folders. So remember, I had Hub Mama students. If I click on that, it takes me to a separate category channel page, and people can subscribe to those channels there. So again, it requires that extra click. So I only use that pretty selectively when I have lots of channels, when I have a hub with lots of channels, or if I have very specific people that I want to bring over to a certain group of channels. Here are all those uncategorized channels. And you can see here these icons. This tells you what kind of channel it is. The earth is for public, the lock is for request, and I don't have any private channels, but there would be an icon for a private channel. So you would know that, or actually, no, you would not see any private channels here because they do not show up here because they're private. So the only thing you're going to see is the lock or the earth. On the paid channel, I'm sure it'll be like a dollar sign in the future. So when somebody, oh, and you can see here, this is where one place where that description can show up. It shows up automatically here. If you go to my Hub Mama News, which is a public channel, so usually I will, and I'm going to show you what on a hub that I built, I'll show you what the channel banner looks like. So you can see here I've added a cover image, like a header image, just to make it look nicer and to make it really obvious what channel you're on, because as you can see on mine, the title is a little smaller here over on the side. So one of these days I will get to my own channel headers. But if it's a public channel like this is, you can tell by that icon, all of the posts are going to show up for everybody, as I discussed before. So if somebody who was not a member of my Hub Mama hub yet clicked on my Hub Mama, say um, I don't really have any request channels yet. This is going to actually, well, it will be a request channel. But if somebody clicked on this channel, it would have there would be a button that says request to join. So yeah, so that's how the difference between those two, how they work for somebody who's coming to this channel page for the first time. So that is it for this tutorial on channels. If you have any questions, if you're viewing this on YouTube, just post it in a comment below. If you are viewing this from my hub, on the bottom of my tutorial page is a get started button that you can use to send me a message and ask any question that you have. I hope this was really helpful for you. Thanks for joining me today, and have a great day.